Hello, I'm back for a brief moment. Okay, I just had to take a second. Anyway, so I titled this, Why I'm Not Really Concerned About Depopulation. I'm not concerned about, let me say it like this. I'm not concerned about whoever's plans for humanity. I'm not concerned about whatever plans they have. Because humanity had the power to prevent whatever it is that was going on. The majority of humanity decided to go along to get along. So I'm not upset about whatever plans they have of depopulation. Uh, but here's that's I don't want to. It's not about criticizing people for whatever decisions they made. Here's why I'm not concerned. Because if you only knew, or if we only knew, people in general, how many enemies you had, how many enemies of your soul there were, how many enemies of your soul there were, I would be taking out more people than Bill Gates. I would be taking up more people than Bill Gates. Or whatever depopulation plan they have, I would be taking out more than that. If you really understood the amount of entities, individuals that might look like people that might not have souls or whatever they are, and then there are some people who have souls that have done made decisions to sell their soul, so they want to take another soul so they can get theirs. I've seen that's a case with me, and I've seen that happen to somebody else in the spiritual realm where they somebody else is trying to take them out so they could so they don't have to lose their soul. These are regular folks. I mean, regular people do this shit too. It's not just celebrities. We just hear it in the media because the rap artists and whoever celebrities that died, they're getting the most attention. But it happens to regular people. A lot of these random folks that just be dying, regular folks, sometimes they have family members that send stuff. Okay? And a lot of times these folks are blood sacrifice for big organizations. They see the folks that's actually doing the sacrifice and might not know everything that's going on. But I say that what I was saying though is like I just did a video not too long ago about people with low consciousness will harm you more than food will. And I say that because if you're constantly in an area where people consciousness is low, even if they have money or even if they don't have money, it's really not about how much money they have. It's about the narratives that they feed into. It's about, is this a group of people that rather believe the truth or will they rather believe more lies? So it's not about how much money they have. So, just because you're in the neighborhood with a bunch of big houses don't mean they have a higher consciousness. Because I've been in areas like that. That doesn't make their consciousness higher. Okay, honestly, those are the ones that follow the rules a lot. And it's nothing wrong with following rules, but then you follow rules to a point where, um, they just do whatever's told of them to do. Okay. But anyway, uh, yeah. So if you really knew the amount of enemies of your soul, there are more people. Let me just say, there are more people that you come across that wants to hold you down. Okay, you notice every time you're trying to work on yourself or do something for yourself, something has to come in the way, right? Somebody has to show up. Somebody's coming in the way. I get that people are on assignment. The minute you start working on yourself, you're trying to rise up or trying to do whatever, trying to cut out bad behaviors, and somebody comes in and want to mess things up or might want to stop what you're doing. Yeah, I get they might be sent. I get that. There's a lot of agents and handlers out there. But also, it's almost like, here's what I'm saying. You can't just keep running and hiding. And I'm saying this to myself. You can't just keep going in the opposite direction. Oh, they're over here. Let me go over there. It's like you can't just. It's like, and I don't want to be exactly like a Bill Gates because I'm not interested in putting needles in folks to get some money and just taking, because what he's doing is for a different purpose. But what I'm saying is, That's kind of a mentality to have. If you want to bother me when I'm not bothering you, or you're sent to, I'm not going to just keep crossing the street. I'm going to take you out. You got to go. So what I'm saying is, and the reason why I'm talking like this is because it's kind of hard to talk like this without sounding like you're too crazy, but it's really a fact. It's not even about being upset about it. It's not even about it. I just talk certain ways because not to sound so monotone. So sometimes I get dramatic because I just like to. I don't want to be monotone all the time. But I'm not gonna always just cross the street because you're on the other side. Because then I'm allowing you to bully me. I'm constantly allowing people to bully me when I have to keep moving out of neighborhoods. When it used to be peaceful until a certain group of people got there. And now I gotta pick up and move and let they ass stay there and just keep running, keep terrorizing it. No, how about you drop dead? If you change it, you drop dead. Something has to go. Something has to happen. How about that? And I don't mean that to be nasty. That's you see that kind of stuff sound mean, but I'm gonna tell you something. In this particular, I'm gonna say, whatever time with whatever's going on with the atmosphere, this is not the time to be putting up with people's bull crap any longer. It's no longer the time. Um, Everybody can't just pick up and just go somewhere else. Everybody just can't quit their job next week. Okay, everybody can't have their own business. I know everybody should probably have a way to make their own money, but here's the thing. There used to be a time when people worked together. Everybody in the world just can't have their own business. Everybody in the world just not going to do it. Every brown person in America is just not going to have their own business. It's just not going to happen. Every white person don't have their own business. Everybody's not going to have their own business. That's kind of like, that doesn't make any sense to keep telling folks that, because that's not going to happen. Everybody in the world is not going to have their own individual business. That's not going to happen. I mean, who the hell is going to be working? I mean, when you decide to go somewhere to go shopping or get something you need, who's going to be working to even check you out? If you want to go to the spa, who the hell is going to be working? If you want to go to a restaurant, who is going to be working? Because everybody's going to have their own business. But beside that, it just can't happen. And where I'm going with this is that, there are some communities where they're more communal, where everybody come together with what they have. Everybody work together. Everybody ain't just saying, well, you need to have your own business. In places like, let me say, this lady went to somewhere in South Africa. I forgot the place, but it was a place in South Africa that she went to. And she was talking about how she was in the store and this man had his bag out trying to get groceries from her. And she was like, she was African herself, but she's not from that area. And she was almost disgusted. She's like, no, what you doing? You don't know me. She was kind of almost disgusted that it really felt like she was supposed to just give him some doggone groceries. Put some groceries in the bag for him. And so when she finally met up with the person that was going to help show her around the area that was actually from South Africa, she said, like, the nerve of this guy to be holding his bag out, and the lady gave him some food. She said, oh, that's how we do around here. We help each other out. We give each other food. We don't let anybody be homeless. We don't let anybody hungry. We don't allow anybody to be homeless. So, see, the thing is, you have communities that work together. But I don't really care for a person. I don't know this man. But I don't know if I care for a person that's constantly going around expecting you to give to them, and they just take. I don't know if I care for a person like that. You walking up to a stranger, and you're a man, first of all. You're a man, and you're walking up to a lady, and you're telling her to put some groceries, and you never seen her before. And I get the idea that everybody help each other, but I don't know about certain people that, maybe they just expect, because that's the kind of community that is. That's the mindset that people help each other. Some folks use that as a reason to not do anything and keep taking and not do anything really for themselves. But other than that, everybody can't have their own businesses, and that's why it's good for people to come together as a community, or it used to be like that in matriarchy. As in matriarchy, and I'm talking about in a healthy matriarchy, in the organic consciousness, that's how it was. It wasn't all about, well, you need your own business so you can have your money up. No, that's capitalism right there. That's capitalism. I'm sorry. You get into the organic matrix with the real matriarchy, it's not even going to be about money. So it's like we gotten out of a time where people just come together. You can't. Everybody don't have the wherewithal. Everybody don't have the wherewithal to have their own business. Everybody don't have the wherewithal to have their own business. Okay. So yeah, that's all I got to say. But yeah, yeah. So that's what I was gonna say is what I was saying earlier, though. Before I got to that topic is when you realize how many enemies of your soul there are, or how many people you just need to, they need to go. Like when they immediately, it's not even it's like it's no more grace. There's no grace left for people like that. There's no grace. Left for people that see what time it is, and they feel like it's their job to go around antagonizing people anyway. And I'm talking about folks that look like human beings, because you don't know what they really are. Okay, that's another reason why I say don't be sparing everybody. You don't know what they are. You're seeing stuff with your false physical eyes. If you open up those real eyes, you'll be seeing something totally different that look like a human. Okay, so some people are completely AI, and when I say AI, like there's nothing they're not connected to anything organic. There's nothing real for them to connect to. They're truly a robot. Okay, so it's like that's what we're dealing with too. And some people, because they eyes are open, their real eyes are open. Some people have seen what look like human beings. She's seen them glitch out. Like she can see that they're holograms. She has seen them glitch out like you're looking at a computer, but you're looking at a real body in front of you and it just glitches out. Okay? So it's like it's just time to move certain things. You don't know what you're dealing with. So I'm not going to have any conscience about dropping folks or what look like people. I'm not going to have any kind of second thoughts about moving them out my way. I'm not going to have any second thoughts about moving them out my way. I don't. It's because, so let me tell you, number one, whatever's going on with them, it's not my business. So whatever is a consequence of whatever is a result of me moving them out my way, it's not my business. That part is not my business. My business is to take care of myself. And when somebody wants to step in the way, I'm not going to always run across the street every time you want to step in my way. I'm going to move you out my way. And if whatever that results in, that's not my business. That's not my business. Sometimes you have to run across the street when you don't really have the power to move them out the way. See, this is the part where you do have to run across the street sometimes. You do have to quit sometimes because you might not necessarily know that have the tools or the knowledge, or it's not even about the tools or the knowledge. It's morals. Some people are still holding on to morals. Some people think that those gangbangers have a right to stay in the neighborhood and they just need to pick up and leave. And they want to give the gangbangers a right to live. And I'm not judging the gangbangers, but I'm sorry. Somebody needs to do something with that energy. Just because you might have had a traumatizing childhood doesn't mean you get to kill other children and other men and other women and other grandmothers and whoever. You got to stop that. So I'm not interested. Once I get into my full, well, it's not gonna be my full power, but powerful enough. I'm not interested in crossing the street no more every time I see a problem. I'm interested in getting the problem the fuck out the way. And once I start doing that, I'm going to actually remove more people than Dr. Fauci and and Bill Gates. I'm going to remove more people than they are. So that's why I say I'm not concerned about the depopulation, because when you really realize how many enemies of your soul there are, you're going to get rid of more people than Bill Gates. Because constantly having to be in an environment where people are enemies of your soul, you're constantly going to be in a battle, a spiritual battle. You might not see it with your physical eyes. It's going to be in the spiritual realm. And once you realize that, you're going to be taking up more people than Bill Gates' ass will. So that's why I'm not concerned about it. And I hate to use Bill Gates because of the kind of the stuff that he does. It's not what I would do. Okay, going to Africa and doing all that kind of stuff, but he has a different agenda. But I'm not going to judge that either, because here's why I'm not going to get on Bill Gates. What's going on with their ancestors? A lot of Africans, they're ancient. What's going on with their ancestors? What's going on with their power? I'm not blaming them, but what's going on? They're ancient. What's going on with their spirituality that Bill Gates get to do this kind of stuff? And it's not just Bill Gates. I get that they are controlled by Nazis. Overall, it's Nazi. And it's a different species. It's extraterrestrial. Okay? But it's other entities that give them their instructions. And Bill Gates is another entity himself. Okay? But, and his wife. But the point is that why are these people so powerful that they keep doing all this stuff to these folks? Why are they so powerful that they keep doing it? And they're not getting away with it finally, I guess, because now it's time for them to be judged. But I mean, it's like you got to ask yourself what's going on with the spiritual power. They keep getting away with this stuff. Okay, and I realize a lot of people's brain and a lot of people been brainwashed by other people's religions and all that stuff, and so that's why they can't go to the spiritual power of their previous spiritual practices. They don't go to it because a lot of them have been brainwashed. Because if you're dealing with people that's still into their spiritual practices, you can't have Bill Gates to go to those kind of areas like that. Okay. But anyway, yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that, you know, once you realize you got a whole lot of enemies of your soul that you don't even know who they are. But it's like the reason why you got so many enemies is because you're a mark. You've been marked from birth. You might be one of the originals, and they want to make sure you certainly don't rise up, especially an original soul. And when I say an original soul, I'm talking about a soul that existed outside the computer system, because a lot of people that we see billions of people that we think we see, their existence didn't start until they were inside the computer. But there's other people's, their existence started outside of the computer, because the computer has been here for hundreds of thousands of years. It's been here for a long time. Okay, even some ancient civilizations that you think are ancient civilizations, actually it was still in the supercomputer. It's still, those ancient civilizations are still it still existed in a supercomputer, and actually in the false matrix. Okay, so I'm saying that they're trying to stop the souls that existed, the real souls that existed before that, and it's not about color really. There's a lot of brown people that's kind of that they didn't start existing until the computer. They didn't exist until the matrix was created. The holographic world, they didn't exist till the holographic world was created. And so it's a lot of brown people that didn't even. It's a lot of Africans that did not exist before that. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, once you realize you're one of the original ones that might have existed way before the holographic world, which is close to millions of years, or at least hundreds of thousands. And once you realize you're one of those, you probably are getting a lot of attacks because you have been spotted. You're a targeted individual, and you're going to realize you're going to have billions of enemies. And so I wouldn't worry about the depopulation that Bill Gates or whoever's trying to do, because once you realize just how many enemies of your soul there are, you're going to take up more people than they are. And I'm going to end it there. That's it. I'll talk later.